Boom! What's up, guys? Another beautiful day. Another beautiful day, man. I was rapping about this in the gym, but I'm gonna continue it here. There's so much to like the level of the types of growth as men that we lean into, and I think far be it from me to just entertain you guys, so if you're looking for like a cool post about guns or executive protection, this is not it. This is me kind of talking to you about what has served me, has helped me serve on higher levels, has kept me alive, has empowered me to execute on the highest levels that I have executed on, and on levels higher than I ever thought I could execute on in my entire life. It's funny, since I've been doing this Man of Peace podcast, as you listen to the different speakers that we have on there and men we have on there, and remember, masculinity is based on results, right? Like, your salvation's not, but what you build down here for the kingdom, and the way that other humans on your horizontal plane of relationships, not necessarily your vertical plane, but your horizontal plane, it's based on results, and so I always like to check in with these dudes and be like, so like, how's it working out? Trying to be a son of God and trying to operate at this level, implementing these spiritual disciplines, being a man driven by the values of power, love, soundness, and discipline, right? Being driven by that spirit. Like, how is it working out for you? Because remember, like, a lot of us, especially based on what we see in the church, Christian men are kind of like weak and pathetic. If you're like the type of guy I am, like if you're like a warrior, you don't see a lot of like super masculine men in the church. And so a lot of us warriors have just found our own spirituality, and I have like stepped out of the church environment because it's like super feminine, and we don't respect a lot of the things we see in there, right? And then if you amplify that by the reality that it's a group of humans, I always like smile when I hear people be like, talk about people, like, well, the church is this and it's hypocrites and it's that, and it's like, it's a group of humans, man. There's no group of humans that's not every single one of those things, You get more than one person in a room, you're gonna experience all these things, so far be it from me. I know that it's probably not, a place is probably not benefiting from me not letting my light shine there because I'm judging them, and far be it from me to think I'm above doing any of the things I see them doing. Like, I don't know about y'all, but I need Jesus. So the things that have brought me power, with this platform, I offer it up as a sacrifice. I offer it up as something that I submit everything to my Heavenly Father, because He's the only one who's got me through everything, who's been with me. Far be it from me to just entertain you and just talk to you about things that are cool, and stuff like that. I really genuinely was the kid who, whose parents were at work and didn't have time to spend with them, that had to find his own way, like, I think a lot of you guys are probably that kid too. And what I found is that as a man, there's a portion of your life and your bandwidth that should be dedicated to physical development, because acquiring strength is super important for your internal world, for your identity, super important for your soul, right? To walk around in a physically strong body. You're a three-part being, strengthens your body, your physical body, which gives you earth consciousness, which you need in order to operate here. It does a lot for your soul level, your mind, your will, your emotions. Your soul gives you self-consciousness. When you're proving to yourself every day that you can, when you're proving to yourself every day that you are a strong being, that you have discipline, that you can superimpose your will at least in here, and then you start to understand the science of superimposing your will out there, and it's super important, super healthy, right? And even if you start to work in spiritual disciplines into your workout like I do now, you develop spiritually as well. I think the first quarter of your life probably has more to do with physical development than a lot of things, maybe. Then you get into the soul level, and the soul level of development is super important. This is when you learn the difference between strength and power, right? Strength is physical body, physical place, this vehicle, my home, any room I'm in is safe because I have strength, right? Now power, me and a bunch of other, hitters, pipe hitters are on a detail. One of us falls, one of us dies. We can be replaced in 24 hours. I can replace a special forces dude within 24 hours, right? Cool. Wise men wonder while strong men die. There's a difference. There's a billion strong men like me, and I ain't even really that legit, there are monsters out there, bro. I'm not going to the gym and training and going to the range and trying to train all the time because I'm dangerous. No, I'm doing it because I'm super hyper aware of how dangerous other people are and other men are, right? I'm like a 6. I'm above average. With God, I'm on a whole nother level, but my physical capabilities, I'm probably like a 7 or 8. I can do a lot of things. But I'm not a judge. I'm not there's guys out there that are monsters. Anyways, so the soul level, the mind, the will, the emotions, understanding how to develop your mind, your will, your emotions. Now you start to acquire some actual power, right? Now you start to acquire, maybe you can build a business, maybe you can have some influence, maybe you can organize troops, you can lead them, right? Now you're starting to actually cook with a little bit of tartar sauce. You know what I'm saying? Now you're becoming a man, right? You start to realize as you develop, like you guys, a lot of guys look at me and they follow me because they think that I'm oh wow, look at what he can do with guns, and he's a larger dude, and he's got tattoos. That is the weakest part of who and what I am. That is the most vulnerable and weakest part. I need Jesus to protect that part of me, right? When you start to really understand the game above the game, then you get into the soul level. It's I can influence, I can write paychecks, I can do some things now. I can pick up the phone. I can sit at my house. I can make things happen to you. You know what I'm saying? Now we're starting to get into the realms of power and influence. But that comes from the soul level, right? But check this out. Science can take you as far as human understanding and intellect can take you. Psychology can take you as far as human understanding and intellect can take you. Dieting can take you as far as human understanding and intellect can take you. Last week, eating yolks was good for you. Next week, eating egg yolks will be bad for you because 8 out of 10 scientists agree with whoever's funding the research. I'm just here to tell you that there are levels and there's games within and above games. And so what I've learned as a man is that the game above all the games, when it comes to being a fully functional, powerful man walking in the level of authority, my heavenly Father, identity comes from your Father. It's a whole nother cookie burger. We'll get there. Designed me as a son of God to walk in comes from understanding this level of spiritual development that I was designed to walk in by His grace. And until you understand the spiritual disciplines, who you are because of whose you are, how to invoke the power of heaven in your life, and how to wield the authority you have through Jesus Christ, I would venture to say you are super vulnerable. For sure you're super vulnerable, and you're not going to walk in a level of authority. There's always going to be something missing. There's always going to be things happening. There's always going to be a level of chaos that's freaking scary and nuts in your life. And when you have these tools, it will still exist, but you'll be able to fight and you'll be able to watch them impact. Listen, I'm not your freaking band camp. I'm not your freaking youth pastor, homie. I'm a warrior, right? It's I don't do things that don't bring me power, okay? So I'm not saying this to you to make you feel good. You know what I'm saying? Far be it from me not to give you the only things that have really ever helped me. You know what I'm saying? The things that have gotten me to where I am, the things that have saved my life on distant battlefields. Far be it from me to make this about how cool I am, when the reality is the only reason I'm here is because my Heavenly Father has saved me, has given me wisdom and given me power and helped me understand how to walk in that. And that's the game within the game. And so I come from a pedigree and bloodline not bloodline, yeah, bloodline, and pedigree of warriors, right? Like, as a professional protector in the Marine Corps, as a professional warrior in the Marine Corps, look at us. We have statistics about suicide and a professional protector on an international level, right? Like, I've done the drugs, I've been in 80 countries, I've sought power my whole life. I've done the steroids, I've done the drugs, I've had the I've had women all over the planet, I've done all these things, and I've settled into this reality with Christ and the level of spiritual authority that I'm able to walk in as a man. And I look at what I've come from and the groups that I've come from and operated in, and I'm like, dude, guys, we have the highest levels of suicide, like in most American demographics, as warriors. So what does that tell you? As warriors coming out of war, made men, validated by war, we're so vulnerable to some kind of attack that we're committing suicide at alarming rates. No one's walking into our house and shooting us in the face. There's something that's happening internally here and in this world that's causing us to kill ourselves. That's a level of vulnerability I mean, that's what I know, but you got to know it for yourself. So that's why I sit on here and I talk about these spiritual things. I talk about your level of spiritual competence, your relationship with your Heavenly Father that informs your identity and building yourself in these ways. Because I've been with all the cool kids, man. I've been protecting millionaires and billionaires since 2008. I've watched their lives. I've watched what happens when you have all the money in the world and you can do whatever you want. I've watched what happens when you come back from war and you're about as BA as it gets, bro. And then what? You know? And what I'm here to tell you is, until you understand the spiritual development aspect of what it is to be a fully functional, fully mature man, developed in spirit, soul, and body, you're just going to be vulnerable. You're going to be missing things. Life's going to beat you the frick up, because we're designed to live life in all three of those heavens, in all three of those realms, walking in authority in all three of those levels. And without understanding the game above the game, which is the vertical game, not the horizontal relational game, the vertical game between you and your Heavenly Father, you're super vulnerable. And so that's why I share the way I share and what I share. That's why the Man of Peace podcast has been launched. And so to bring this full circle, I check in with my guys, I check in with my co-hosts, and I'm like, how's this thing working out for you? And they're like, dude, there's a level, it's not that my life is without battles, it's just that there's a level of wholesomeness, and there's a level of safety, and there's a level of, I know who has my back, and there's a level of just abundance that comes from that is just unmatched. Like, I live such a nice, wholesome life. Of course, the enemy attacks me. There's some attack going on. There's someone in the backfield trying to get me all the time. And there's always these little, there's this new thing. But I get to rest in the fact that I know my Heavenly Father's got my back, and he rescues me, bro. It's awesome. So I just wanted to give that stuff to you guys, because it's what's changed my life and helped me live at this level. And I want you to do that too. That's it. Happy Tuesday. Love you. Let's go. Yo, hop on the podcast, Man of Peace. Boom. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called sons of God.